Hey, what's up, peeps? Welcome to another episode of Direct Edition. I just got this in the mail from my boy Thomas Churchill. So, random act of kindness. All right, let's crack it open and let's see what's in there. What's up, comic book peeps? Welcome to another episode of Direct Edition. The channel is Fred Hall Direct Edition. And as I said in the beginning, I got a random act of kindness from my boy Thomas Churchill. I appreciate that, man. That was very nice of you. And the funny thing about it is it came in priority mail. So that means that, Thomas was real on the fact that he spent money, man, on a random, guy that's just off of YouTube. So I really appreciate it, man. I really appreciate the love. So before we get into the random act of kindness, I just want to show you a couple things. The first thing I wanted to show you was my end of an era picture, which is over here. That's Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and The Undertaker. That was called the End of an Era match. That was Triple H versus Undertaker Part 2. I know there's a lot of wrestling fans that collect comic books too. And that was given to me for my birthday. And the thing about this artist is he only does a certain amount. Right here in the corner of it, you can see. If you can see that. So I have number 13 out of 25 that he actually released. You can hear my chair squeaking in the background, excuse that, but it is what it is. And then the second thing I wanted to show you was my autograph from your boy Virgil, who's holding the $1 million belt. He had several pictures that I could have chosen from. But I got this one because it has so many, iconic legends in it. Two of them being gone. Davy Boy Smith, the British Bulldog, being, gone, and Hot Rod being gone. And when I met Virgil, he was a pretty cool dude. Down on his luck. I guess he's doing signatures now to keep the money rolling in, which is sad. And one of the things I asked him, I said, were you with WCW, until the company closed? And he said, yeah, man, I was there right up until the end. So, pretty cool, man. Glad to have this in my collection. And the last thing I wanted to show you was one of my cheapest Marvel Selects that I ever bought. But I bought this about 4 years ago. And this is Sin City Nancy. I don't understand why she was so cheap, but it's a pretty cool action figure. So here's a cool look at the front of Nancy. And here's a cool look at the side of Nancy. And this is one of the reasons why I don't open up my action figures, because the boxes that they put them in are so intriguing, especially the Marvel Selects. Like if you go and look down my Marvel Select wall, you'll see that that all these pictures are on the side of my Marvel Selects, which I love. So here's a cool look at the side of it. And here's a pretty darn awesome view of the back of the figure. Love it. The only gripes I had about it is when they actually sent it to me, whoever I bought it from, the box was beat to death. Because a lot of times people think, hey, I'm selling it to a guy that's going to open, the box or whatever and take the figure out. But, excuse my voice cracking. They don't understand that, I'm an extreme collector, so I'm not going to open it up. Okay, so with that being said, let's get into our sponsor. And this episode of Direct Edition is being brought to you by My Fake Darth Maul from China. Alright, so you know how we do on this channel. Let's get into some comics. Okay, so I guess because of my ultimate 3-part videos, it's 3 parts of that video. The Ultimate Collection, you have the Ultimate Haul, then you have the Ultimate X-Men, and then you have the Last of the Ultimates. My boy Thomas was like, hey man, I got something for you. I really wasn't expecting him to send me, some Ultimate books. So when I opened it, I was pretty surprised that he sent me a pretty good run. And so this is Ultimate X-Men number 54. Number 55, that looks like Long Shot on the front. Can't wait to crack it open because I really haven't seen Long Shot in the Ultimate Universe. But that's number 55. Number 56, cool Colossus cover. Number 57, definitely gotta love that Jean Grey, Kitty Pryde, Cyclops, and Iceman cover. Very cool, man. So number 57, Ultimate X-Men Annual number 1. Very cool Gambit cover. Well, Gambit and Rogue. Number 2 Annual. This will be my second copy. Definitely glad to have 2 copies of this, though. And we got X-Men and Fantastic Four number 4. Now, Thomas sent me one more book, but I'm going to save that for the main event. And, yeah, so let's take a look at all the books again. So here's a cool look at everything again, minus the one comic that's going to be in the main event. All right, let's get into some more comics. So Second of Charles is not having that sale anymore, so I was pretty bummed about that. I tried one more time. I said, please let them have that sale, but they didn't. But I picked up Batman and Robin Eternal number 9. Strictly picked this up just because of Bane cover. Thought it was pretty cool, and yeah, man, I really like this cover. I can't get enough of Bane. I'm a huge fan of Bane. He's almost rivaling the Joker, which is hard to do, but yeah, Bane is almost beginning to be in my top 5 villains. So, yep. So speaking of the Joker and Batman villains, I saw this Batman Shadow of the Bat. This is called The Joker, The Tears of a Clown Part 2. I thought this cover was very nice. It reminded me of the Batman animated series. If you can see in the background, you'll see like the people are basically like dead or whatever, and the Joker is on stage. You have the fish, which is reminiscent of Joker's The Laughing Fish. And I just thought this cover was real cool, man. I bought it home and I said, I know this book is worth some money. Womp womp womp. It's not worth that much. It's only like $1 book. So, but I still thought it was pretty cool, man. I really do like this cover. I think it's very sharp, very crisp, and it speaks to the Joker character. So, yep, let's keep it moving. So I picked up this all new X-Men book because every time I see somebody's video on Sabretooth or, the new Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, they always show a picture of this book. So in my head, I was like, when I saw it in Second of Charles, I was like, man, this book, I have to pick it up strictly for cover reasons and strictly for reading reasons, not for, the hope that money will be involved in the book later on. But I thought it was a pretty cool cover. Like I said, I'm interested to read what's inside. So that's the reason why I picked up this all new X-Men. And I don't have a lot of all new X-Men, but this is number 9, Sabretooth and Mystique cover. They have kids together, which is basically Great and Creed. Yeah, Great and Creed. So pretty cool. Friends of Humanity. Boy, you could tell I really rushed this video because I haven't even pulled off the Second of Charles stickers. But this is a Wonder Woman that I picked up. It's called The Fall of the Amazons. If I can, I'm going to try to fit the rest of the Wonder Womans I got from Second of Charles in this video. But the Wonder Womans the other 2 Wonder Womans I picked up are basically main events because, they're pretty good books. But anyway, this is The Fall of the Amazons. I just like the flare cover. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, it has that 90s flair to it. If you allow my sexy fingers to interrupt your video. See what I'm talking about? So I thought it was pretty cool. That's why I picked it up. But yeah, this is Wonder Woman, what, 100? So pretty big issue for her. Look at this cool cover. This is Earth 2 World's End #1. I thought it was the first appearance of Thomas Wayne and, you know, the rest of the crew, but womp womp womp. It's actually not. But it's still a pretty cool book to have. This is the Earth that comes out of the Flashpoint paradox or whatever, when the Flash actually went back and stopped his mom from being killed, but then he found out that he couldn't do it because the world had changed so much. So he went back and he allowed his mom to, you know, actually get killed, which brought on the, was it the New 52? I think that brought on the New 52. Or it brought on the Rebirth. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's when DC rebooted some of the continuity again. But I think Thomas Wayne is a pretty cool character, man. I really like Thomas Wayne. And I was saying that to say, I had to light it up for you. Look what I finally have in my collection. The Batman Manticular cover. You see how he's turning into Reverse Flash? I'm sure you've seen this already. But definitely glad to have this in my collection. Finally. This is a book that I've looked for a while. Excuse me, I had to turn my flash off. This is a book that I looked for a while, and yeah, man, I thought it was pretty cool. Let's look at that manticularness again. Very cool, man. Very cool. All right. So even though I have the Messiah Complex and, you know, trade paperback, I wanted to pick up some of the single issues. Well, if not all of the single issues. And I really like this, you know, this new X-Men issue 44, drawn by David Finch. I think this cover is very awesome. So I definitely had to have that, you know, in the collection. As a big X-Men fan, you know, definitely had to have this. So not only did I pick up number 44, but I picked up issue number 46, which is another very cool David Finch drawing. And yeah, man, it just takes me back to when I first got the trade paperback of Messiah Complex. I really, really like that book, man. So there you have it. So this just wouldn't be, you know, direct edition if I didn't, you know, show you some Harlequins. This is Harlequin number 22. You know, I love my baby. Definitely have to have everything, you know, in her runs. Definitely have to have her complete run. So this is 22. 22 Frank Cho variant. I know you guys have seen this, but definitely had to throw this in there. 22 Frank Cho variant. And we have Harley Quinn number 23. Very cool, man. Definitely have to have my Harley Quinn. So, and I think number 24 is out. I did see it in Second and Charles, but I said I'm gonna go to my regular, you know, comic book shop and support that, because Second and Charles is a franchise. The local comic book shop doesn't make nearly half as much money as, you know, my local comic book shop will. So I'll support them instead. And yeah. So as you can tell, I'm totally a 90s kid, because every comic book that I basically bought you today was, well, most of them that I bought you today, I'm sorry, were #1s. And that's what we did in the 90s. Anytime there was a #1, you ran and you got it. Because it not only was it the beginning of a new launch of a series, but most of the time #1s would be the first appearance of a character. But nowadays, the #1s are not the first appearance of the characters. It's just a first appearance of a new story arc, which is okay. But like I said, back in the 90s, when you saw #1, basically it was the introduction of that character. You know what I'm saying? So definitely had to pick up this We Are Robin cover. I love it. Picked it up strictly for the cover. And I thought that was, I think his name is Duke Thomas. I thought that was Duke Thomas's first appearance, but it's actually not. It's in Batman: The End Game when the Joker was Jokerizing everybody, and he was basically going to kill Duke's parents, but Batman stepped in and helped save his parents, or a mob was going to kill his parents. I forget which one it was, but anyway, thought it was a pretty cool cover, man. Definitely looking for that first appearance of that character. There you have it. So I went in my local comic book shop, and I had no intentions on buying Darth Vader #1. But, Adam was like, "Hey, Fred, I got something for you." And I was like, "Hey, what is it?" He was like, "Look, man, I know this has been out a while, but, I managed to get you a copy of Darth Vader #1." And I couldn't turn it down because, I'm a huge Darth Vader fan. He's my favorite character out of Star Wars. And so I went ahead and picked it up, and I said, I'll just throw it in the collection. I'm still looking to get the trade hardcovers of Darth Vader Volume 1 and 2 from like 2 years ago. But I will get it eventually. I did get the Star Wars hardcover. But definitely love Darth Vader, love Anakin Skywalker, love the whole Star Wars story. And I'm pretty glad to have this. This is Darth Vader Volume 2, #1. And I know you guys have seen this in other videos, but I thought I'd just show you. So it's pretty cool. So we had to go old school for a second. This is the official Marvel Index to the Marvel team ups. Features Spider-Man and Captain America, Iron Man. Is that Daredevil? Yep, Daredevil and Moon Knight. Wow. And they're fighting MODOK, which is pretty cool, man. Machine Operation Only for Killing or something. I forget his acronym. But yeah, MODOK is pretty hilarious. So, yep. Okay, so we're at the point of the video where you asked me, "Hey, Fred Hall, Direct Edition, what are you reading right now?" And this is what I'm reading right now. This is Star Wars Darth Vader, the Ninth Assassin. And it's a very good book. It's drawn by my boy Olivetti. And this is like one of my first videos I've ever done. This book is in it. It was a video where I tried to show you cheaper ways to get graphic novels. And I'm not even gonna lie, right after I bought this graphic novel, it shot up in price. I bought it for like $1, which means in Amazon talk, $1 means that you add $3.99 onto that. So I bought it for about $5. And yeah, man, I've been happy, man. Definitely love the artwork. It's like I said, it's my boy Olivetti. So here's a really cool look at the front of the book. And here's a pretty cool look at the back of the book. Now you gotta understand this is Dark Horse, so the continuity is not the same anymore. Disney changed it a lot. So, but this book basically, Darth Vader goes after this guy that got away, and in the process of him getting to the guy, he kills up until the point where he finds the guy, and he finally kills the Ninth Assassin. So that's why this book is named that. All right, so let's get into your 3 main events. Okay. And for your first main event, it's going to be Ultimate X-Men #1. Thomas threw this in, when he sent me those Ultimate comics. This is a big find for me. It's a big thing for me because I'm a huge Ultimate X-Men fan, huge Wolverine fan. Thomas Churchill, I can't thank you enough. That's very kind of you to send this to me, and I just appreciate it, man. But definitely love this Ultimate X-Men #1. I remember back in the 2000s, I bought this Ultimate X-Men book or Ultimate book from Publix, which had the first Ultimate Spider-Man in it, had the first Ultimate X-Men in it. It's just a pretty thick comic book that had everything thrown in one. And I don't know what happened to it. Oh, I know what happened to it. What ended up happening to it is the top got torn off because when I was closing my trunk where my comics are, it was so tall that it got caught in the trunk. So I always was a little hurt by that because I know now that book is probably worth so much money. It's a collector's item. But finally have Ultimate X-Men #1 in my collection. Very happy to have this. Thumbs up. And your next main event is going to be Superior Spider-Man #1. Got this for $1. Thought it was pretty cool, man. I know it's not the first appearance of Doc Ock as Superior Spider-Man, but this is the first Superior Spider-Man. Like I said, those #1s to 90s kids, you know, we're going to flock. If you want to sell something, just slap a #1 on it and we're going to buy it. Even if you continue to slap a #1 on it throughout the whole run, you know, we're just going to pick up #1s when we see them. So very cool. Happy to have this in my collection. Don't have any Superior Spider-Man in my collection, but hey, #1 is a good launching pad. So yeah. And for your last main event, my God, look at this Vampirella. This is a J. Scott Campbell Vampirella too, so you know it's money when you see J. Scott Campbell. And I'm really wasn't a J. Scott Campbell fan, but I'm slowly becoming one because of, like I've already said, you guys. And I think this cover is very cool, man. Definitely love me some Vampirella. She reminds me of, you know, like I always say, how I like my women. Um, Basically, you know, very cool. There you have it. And to take another look at this cover. This cover is so beautiful. So once again, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Direct Edition. The channel is Fred Hall Direct Edition. Another shout out to Thomas Churchill for your random acts of kindness. I appreciate it. And you guys be safe out there. Words of wisdom. Focus on the ones that show you love. On the ones that don't show you love. Don't worry about them. Let's keep it moving. And I will catch you guys later. Peace. Oh my God, look what came in the mail today. This is my official Dragon Con book. Them invited me out to Dragon Con. I cannot wait to go. Yes.